Welcome back to another episode of the JCPod. I'm your host, Jaden Chandler Parnell, and hey, it's Wednesday, baby. And you know what goes with H? Hump Day and hoops. I got my guy, as you can see, Rowan Donahue. Hey, Rowan, how we doing over there, man?
Man, doing spectacular, baby. Them sneakers are squeaking on the hardwood.
Man, I won't lie to you. It's what? What are we still in week one technically, or is it now week two, week three? What are we in college wise?
Oh, it's definitely the second week by now. But
Shit.
I don't. I guess you call it the week two. College hoops, baby. We're about 10 days into the season, already seeing some spectacular finishes. The madness, if you will, starts in November with the scheduling the way it is. I love how I don't know if advanced is the right word, but I love how scheduling harder and tougher in November has become more of a trend. Trying to get as many quad one wins as possible, and it's given us some beautiful gems. We saw Arizona Duke on Friday. Michigan State and Duke last night, Kansas, Kentucky last night. Just big name games across the board. You're getting previews of March, and that is what is a beautiful thing. Usually you don't see games like this until late February, early March. So it's definitely been exciting. We've had the Gavitt games this week, Big 12 taking on the Big 10. Two tough conferences just duking it out. Marquette and Illinois last night just went 15 rounds. Heavyweight Ali style championship bout with that one. So it's definitely been exciting to watch, man. Even Creighton and Iowa last night was a shootout. Been some great games for sure.
Oh shit! All I was gonna say is, goddamn, I can't believe the season's already 10 days in, and you gave us all that. I mean, that about says it. That says it better than anything I could say. Obviously, one of the big reasons I want to have you on, obviously, is not only, I mean, you just heard what he said right there. This is our basketball expert. Biggest thing is, yeah, it's I'm not the biggest hoop guy. Obviously, I love hoops. I love to watch it, but when it comes down to like the intricate details and small stuff like that, I'll admit I might be a mark, a square, whatever you want to call it. I'm not the biggest basketball techn basketball masseuse. I can't say masseuse. It's a massage guy. You know what I'm trying to say. God damn it. Uh, so yeah, pretty much. I have my guy on. This is hopefully going to be a weekly series. I mentioned it on my show once or twice, I believe now, but we're gonna figure it out. It's either gonna be Wednesday or Friday. Hump Day hoops. We're gonna find a day. We're gonna not find a day. We're gonna find a name eventually for this. It'll be
Yeah.
a dual partnership on the name, but it's on my show, so I can change it if I want. But no, honestly,
Mhm.
I love Hump Day hoops, but I feel like we can do better. So we'll figure it out. We'll do it there. But biggest thing, I'm already dilly dallying. We're already wasting a little bit of time. There's like four things I basically want to go over with you today. For those of you in the intro who are curious and like to click on timestamps, we're basically going to go highlights real quick from these first few games, what we like, what we'd like to see, what you've seen, what you've not liked so far. Just quick, maybe little brush ups on some of the conferences, some teams, stuff like that. Just some quick highlights, big things you've noticed that we can looking forward to. I'll have you quickly burn through your top 10 that you like so far in the season. We don't got to spend too long on it right now because, I mean, shit, everyone's 2-0 and 3-0 damn near. And then we
Yeah.
got awards to end it, and then there are going to be some big games to come until we see you basically a week from now. But one thing I wanted to mention real quick before we jump into some highlights, one thing I do love about college basketball that they're doing other than football, they schedule some tough goddamn games because it's nothing. It's a lot of fun to watch games like Marquette, Illinois, because in the football world you're
Boy,
barely getting stuff like that. I mean, it's very rare that you see two really good teams scheduled like that. We might now with the 12th game in football, but I don't know.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking that as she was talking, man. It's definitely they're not gonna do it till you give them a reason to do it. Once the college basketball landscape went from just have the best record that you could have to we're gonna put these teams in quadrants and you could be 30-2, but if you've only played three quadrant one teams non-conference, your schedule is gonna be looked at weaker than somebody that's 24-7 with eight quad one wins. It made you want to schedule your games tougher. And not only that, it's iron sharpens iron. You get these great teams playing each other early. They go into March rolling now. They know what to expect. They know the high level expected from them. They've seen these guys. They've seen these teams. Or even if they just seen the matchups, like we watched last night, Kentucky and Kansas. That put the world on notice. When you play Kentucky or Kansas, you better be ready to brawl. You better be ready to grab some rebounds, play some defense, and put some points on the board because they're gonna come at you and they're gonna come at you for 40 minutes, and it ain't over until it's over. So it's definitely just I think it just raises the competition, the level of competition across the whole nation. You just got teams everywhere just ready. to get that chance to jump in the ring and swing with some of these big dogs.
And it's fun to watch. I mean, like,
Yeah,
you love to see it. I mean, even James Madison beating Michigan State. That's something like, I won't lie, this year in football, that might be a little bit different story because of the way it goes. If you see something like that in basketball, Michigan State's what, 0-2, and it might not matter at all because simply for the fact that they're going to get a chance because of conference play. They do really good in conference. They're going to be in the tournament no matter what. So it does nothing but benefits the fans and it gives you a good taste because now, like, Duke beat what, Michigan State by about like 9-ish is a good touch for Duke. Like, okay, now we can put ourselves like here compared to maybe Kansas up here and Kentucky down here. They can finally like maybe put themselves in like, all right, so we can beat this level of team. Now what do we do when we face this level of team? Love to see it.
yeah. Michigan State 1-2. They did get a cheap win on Friday over some, I forget who it was, Southern Indiana or something. So they got their one win in. Everybody thinks the ship is falling in East Lansing. I think that could be further from the truth. If you got Tom Izzo, they really just need one or two more players. I'm looking at Jaden Atkins. He needs to get to the 15, 18, 20 point range. Last year as a freshman, him sitting around 11, 12 was cool. But now you need to be the Robin to Tyson Walker. They need to let number 11, AJ Hoggard. I'm sorry if I said his name wrong. They need to let him facilitate more. Um, Walker needs a Robin on offense. He needs somebody to put up 20 when he puts up 25. I'm looking at Jaden Atkins to be that guy. Number 10, Carr, world of athleticism. The game's going to come to him. He still hasn't figured out how to put the ball in the basket from all angles. Just a world of athleticism. And I say this with a literally just talking about his athleticism, Jordan like athleticism, but they're going to figure it out, man. They need some big man help too. Big man need to put some points on the board. Michigan State will figure it out though. Tough schedule. The James Madison one kind of inexcusable, but the Duke one, you kind of understand it.
Yeah.
But definitely at 1-2, this team still will be a top 5 to 7 seed in the tournament, and definitely still dangerous to go on a run.
Yeah, no, I think the old adages speaks for itself. What is it? It's like December, January, February, and then I think what was it? Izzo? It's Izzo instead of March or April. Which one is he instead of? I think it's March, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like the what's a good? I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it, like NFL team wise. Like it's maybe I don't want to say still soon, but maybe it's like the Bengals where, especially later in his career, I feel like we've noticed where it might not be the quickest start, but it's like they start off a little bit slow, but then you can know like, hey, Izzo's gonna figure it out. It's one of that's basically the way to put it. Like Joe Burrow starts out slow at the beginning of the season, it's like oh he'll figure it out. Like we think that way. Same way with Izzo. Izzo's been around a little
Yeah,
bit. He'll figure it out.
yeah, definitely. And just throw another thing out, not to make excuses for anybody, but Malik Hall is a better player than he showed last night. He got into foul trouble early, kind of had his minutes restricted. Michigan State will figure it out, man. They're gonna cuss each other out for the next 2 months, and they're gonna come into March ready to play.
Oh yeah, love to hear it. Also, by the way, that into the intro, presented by Stare Down Sports. Don't know if I got a chance to say it. Check it out. Articles every day. We've already basically hopped into the highlights section. I just kind of looped in what you kind of said about Michigan State, assuming that you being a big, not a regioner, but a Michigan State's watch stalker,
definitely,
put
definitely
it that way.
a fanatic of the Spartans.
Yes, I know you can't see them in a screen right now, but just know there's some Michigan State propaganda, I'm sure, somewhere back there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. We just can't see it, right?
I I hate to break your heart. Just got Michigan.
That almost feels
Um,
disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie to your own team. You don't even got them up there, but you got the arch rival up there, and how much you trashed your Juwan Howard. That just feels wrong.
Man, to make the show long story short, uh, told my girlfriend Syracuse, Michigan State, Michigan, LSU. I got the Michigan, Syracuse, and LSU. But
Man,
hey, I love it to death, and I
hey,
appreciate it. This is last year's Christmas, so it was
three
awesome though, man.
3 for 4. I'm not. I don't want to be that guy, but 75% that gets you into the Baseball Hall of Fame by a mile. So we
Hey,
gonna.
wow.
Hey, the NFL all-time kicking percentage is about like 89%. I'd say that's pretty good. Something like. But no, shout out the
Yeah,
woman. Shout out the woman for
shout
real.
out.
Hey, you gotta love it. But yeah, keep going with some highlights, man. Just bring them on the board. What are some other things you saw in the hoop world? You can like feel free to take the reins. Like if you want to just talk about like one or two things for each team as you go on. If you want to just specifically talk about two teams you really love, feel free. The floor is basically all yours. What are some things that we should be? What are some things that we basically missed of this week? Hoops. Say like people were locked in on some of the action on Tuesday night or on some of the games Sunday. What did we
Yeah.
miss in the hoops world?
Well, I'll tell you this: Creighton is probably one of the best teams in the country. I got them ranked at third. They showed out last night against Iowa.
Teaser.
Iowa not known for a defensive school, but Creighton just goes in and shows you they can play any style of basketball. We're going to see them play games 67-65. They beat Iowa last night 92 to 80 something. This team, Creighton, they can adjust and play against anybody. I love what they're doing this season. For a little small school, you got Memphis looking like they're going to run away with their division. Florida Atlantic might give them some trouble, but don't sleep on Tulane. Ron Hunter's in his
Hey
third,
now.
fourth year down there with the Tulane Green Wave. They're starting the season off hot, 3-0. And believe it or not, Michigan has looked better than Michigan State. I know the schedule has been completely different, but Michigan running through St. John's on Monday just kind of put an exclamation point on what that Wolverines program is going to look like. Some new faces down there getting it done. Chattanooga, definitely one of my
Nuga.
favorite schools. Them and Colorado State have been some small schools that I've been following the last few years. Definitely been profitable off of them. Chattanooga covering machine. If you don't know, now you know. Arizona, they showed me a lot when they went down there to Cameron Indoor and took a win away in front of the Cameron Crazies. Caleb Love doing his thing, but there's a lot of talent
Did
on
you
that
say
Arizona
Kevin
team.
Love?
Caleb, I believe I said Caleb Love.
No, you
Um,
did. Shout out
man,
Kevin Love, man. Just had to throw my boy in there. Not many
hey,
people with the last name Love, so I only know two of them.
Kevin Love is UCLA's finest, to believe it or not. A player that reminds me of Kevin Love, Caden Pierce for Princeton, baby. Watch out for those Ivy Leaguers come round 1 of March. I don't think they can go too far, but they might steal one game, get to the round of 32. Hey, Cinderella slipper fits at least for a day. Villanova, they kind of worry me offensively. They're going to be a good team in the Big East. But speaking of Big East, I talked about Creighton, I talked about Villanova. UConn's rolling, Marquette's rolling. Watch out for Providence. Just this morning,
Wow.
Providence has impressed me so much in what Kim English has done. Really, the energy, the defense, the attention to detail and rotations. This team is rolling. Kim English has his guys ready just because of how impressed I was by the energy they brought to blowing out Wisconsin last night. I had to hit the see more tab on the Big East, scroll all the way down, put a little something on Providence at plus 2,500, I believe,
Ooh.
to win the Big East. I got that ticket now in my portfolio. This team is dangerous. I know they shot the ball 60%, which I don't think is going to keep happening, but them holding Wisconsin to 30% shoot is what really impressed me last night was the defensive side of things. Whew, Syracuse, baby. I didn't expect them to be this good. I didn't expect their defense to look this good. They're pressuring up. They feel like a
First year with the new coach, right? This is
yeah,
year one.
yeah, Adrian Autry. Um, they remind me of honestly, a few years ago, you always have those teams in the tournament. St. Peter's old school West Virginia teams. They just play defense, man to man, full court, turn you over, have you making bad decisions, taking bad shots. Opposite of what the zone does is kind of lull you into shooting threes. They're pressing up the man. They're forcing guys in the corners, trapping. They're playing beautiful defense. Coming back last night, 24 points showed me a lot of grit. It's so early in the season. You think somebody goes down 24 points in the second half, they pack it in, get ready for the next game. I don't mind being 2-1, but they came out and came back, and that showed a lot last night. I hate to say it, this one is more of a fandom thing. I put something down on Syracuse to win the AAC, go to the Final Four, and win it all this morning
Hey,
after that performance. Again, take all wagers at your own risk, and please gamble responsibly. We talked about Duke. They slammed the door on Michigan State. We talked about it from Michigan State's perspective, from Duke's perspective. Amazing bounce back win after losing to Arizona. They looked impressive last night, looked physical, definitely had Michigan State struggling to get buckets at times. Marquette, honestly, Illinois looked amazing. Marquette looks like a top five team in the nation, and I think they'll continue to look like that. And just real quick, Kansas, baby. Shout out to them.
shout
Hunter
out to Hunt.
Dickinson,
I was about to say, shout out to Hunter Dickinson, man. Woo!
27 points, 21 rebounds. Give this man the Wooden Award and give me my money.
Cut the odds
Definitely
by
shout out
two
to
thirds
them.
overnight. I just want to say they cut the odds by 2/3 overnight with the 27-21 performance.
Hey, that's a smart move because he did it under the bright lights. He did it on Tuesday night. He did it against
Balled
Kentucky.
out.
Who? Kentucky in their own right definitely impressed me last night. If they can play with Kansas like that, I don't look for much teams to beat them this season. I think Kentucky is going to have one of the best seasons they've had in a while. I'm thinking back maybe even 10, 12 years to the Anthony Davis run the season, run the league.
Oh,
We'll see what happens though, but I think Kentucky's going to be dangerous. Definitely looking at Kentucky to be an Elite Eight, Final Four team easily. I
was just
think
about to
they
ask.
think they run away with the SEC. Alabama and Arkansas will have a lot to say about that. Those are three teams. I have tickets on all three, so I would be happy with either or. But I definitely give Kentucky the leg up. I think Alabama and Arkansas scoring is out of this world. Defensively, I think Kentucky has the edge. I think it's the first time in a while Kentucky has some five-star recruits that are worth all 5 stars. So definitely exciting, man. A lot of exciting stuff. I can go on for days, just on the 10 days of basketball we've seen thus far.
Man, I was about to say Kentucky's plus 382 to reach the Final Four, and they're one of the top, I think, like 5, 6 favorites. So obviously the books agree with you with that one. Yeah, that is. I don't lie. You got me. Before we move on to something else, real quick, since you were talking about the highlights, why don't you just add to the highlights? What are your top 10? Or sorry, top 5 conferences? Like, if you wanted to, if you could
Ooh,
rank them,
that's
like,
a
if,
yeah.
just get you off topic real quick while you're thinking what you've seen so far. This doesn't have to be stats. I'm very curious. It might if it changes every week. I'm gonna write it down weekly just see how you feel. So based on you
Yeah.
think like 3, 4 games or whatever, what conferences do you think are separating themselves from basically the bottom tier conferences so far?
I'll tell you what, this is gonna surprise some people. I think the Big 12.
Sorry. Are
You
you going
had it.
from 5 or 1? I mean, first one 1 to 5 or 5 to 1. Which way are you going?
Oh, I guess I have to go 1 through 5.
One that works. I just wanted for write it down purposes. That's why I was
I'd
asking.
have to think about it and rearrange it to do it opposite, I believe. Big 12. If you're talking about just pure talent, they add in Houston, Cincinnati to make Cincinnati to make the bottom of the league thicker. Houston to make the top of the league thicker. Big 12 is going to be a gauntlet this season. You look all the way down, even at Kansas State, Iowa State, West Virginia, 2-1. These teams are going to be fighting every night for a win. And then the top dogs, of course, Kansas, Texas, and Houston might be the best three-headed monster of any conference you got. Big East would have to be number two behind the Big
By the
12.
way, before you go real quick, would it be easier to give you just 3 this week, or do you want to do 5? You can do 5 if you want, but if you want to make it 3, I don't mind cutting it down to 3 as well. If
No,
three's
I can
easier.
get you 5.
All right, if you want to do 5, go for it. If you want to do 3, either or is good for me. I'm just curious, like conference wise, who we should be looking for to make some noise right now.
Yeah, I think the Big 12 is going to make a lot of noise. It's going to be teams down there at the bottom people aren't even talking about. I think Kansas State is still a great team. I think West Virginia is still a
Did their
dangerous
coach
team.
return? I know West Virginia has a new coach. Did Kansas State's coach return, or is he coaching somewhere else?
I'm 90% sure. You made me question it because I haven't heard an official, but I don't see why not. I'm pretty sure he signed an extension when he was there.
I
Yeah,
thought
it's still
so.
the same.
Okay.
Jerome Tang,
All I remember is
definitely.
their little tournament run. Listen to Little Baby, where they're just after
Yeah, he
beating a
signed
few teams.
a 7 year deal for
All
them.
right,
No,
sweet. Love
I
that.
ain't gonna lie
Love
to you.
that.
Due to some future bets I had last season, I was able to put the biggest bet of the season on Kansas State over Michigan State, and I wasn't too mad about it.
Hey now.
So shout out to them. I think Big 12 is going to definitely be deep. You look at the Big East, man. I just talked about Providence. They're towards the bottom in projections in this country, in this conference. You got a team like Villanova who should be 4 or 5, and in those top 3 or 4 teams, I mean, just going to absolutely be a gauntlet. Marquette, UConn, and Creighton. And don't forget about St. John's. Rick Pitino's going to have his boys ready.
Mmm.
They didn't show up against Michigan, but you can believe once conference play comes, Providence, Villanova, St. John's going to be a problem. Even teams like Xavier, who played tough against somebody last night, I don't remember who. But
Hey.
definitely the Big East, I think, just spread them out can play anybody in the country. We're seeing what's going on with the Gavitt games, Big East versus the Big Ten. Big East is kind of dominating that.
Now,
Providence takes care of Wisconsin first night, and then last night Marquette stuns
need a ass.
Illinois. Yeah, Creighton tears up Iowa. Big Ten supposedly is the best basketball conference year in and year out. Well, Big East is showing them this week that we're bigger, better, and we're hungrier dogs than you guys are. You got all the fat contracts. We just over here sitting on Fox every Saturday. But I love the Big
Ballin'.
East what they're doing. The third one it'll be tough.
Before you go to number three, real quick, shout out Garrett Cole, sorry, Cy Young winner for the American League. Hella
Yes,
implications
sir.
for somebody on the show, not named me. So congrats, shout out. 1 for 2, 1 for 2. Cleaned it up after that snub that we might have had in the NL, but we
Man,
don't
they've
got to
been
talk.
just real quick. They snubbed the Diamondbacks. I know they gave Corbin Carroll his Rookie of the Year, but Torey Lovulo should have
Man, that
been
was
a
horrible,
finalist,
horrible.
and Zach Gallen should be a Cy Young winner,
Yes,
especially after that complete game.
damn near should have clean
Mm.
swept those three awards, honestly, in my opinion.
No, yeah, and I could even argue Ketel Marte or Christian Walker for MVP. But hey,
Hey,
baseball season's over, man.
yeah, we'll talk about baseball later. Like you said, we got Big 12, Big East. We're talking about hardwood. I just want to give a quick shout out real quick. But yeah, our Big 12, Big East. What are these last one or three you're gonna give us?
Last three, baby. I'm a switch it up. Big Ten's been my favorite conference my whole life. I think the SEC is actually deeper
Oh,
than the Big Ten this year. You got four teams who could win not only the conference, four teams who could win a championship. Tennessee is going to be a top five team most of the year. Arkansas and Alabama, they're going to be top 12 to 15 ranked all year. Kentucky's going to be top 10 ranked all year. All four of those teams I would take against a lot of teams in this country come tournament time, come conference time. I think four-headed monster right there. Uh, it might even be above the Big East, but I definitely like them at three. Big 12, Big East, SEC, and then at number four, I gotta go Big Ten. I want to go Pac-12, give them
understandable,
some love on their last year.
man.
I'll put the Pac-12 at five, but the Big Ten, self-explanatory. Nine, 10 teams every year get into the tournament. Uh, you look at Purdue and Zach Edey. Michigan State's supposed to be a great team this season. They've been priced like the second or third best team in the country coming into the season and start off 1-2. That just shows you these books just be throwing numbers and hoping something sticks. Because they were plus 380, I believe, are the third favorite to win the championship, plus 200, 380 to win the Big
What
Ten.
team is this again?
Michigan State.
Michigan State. Okay,
Yeah,
just
it's a
want to make sure I was
Michigan State
following.
show today, baby. Now just talking
Hey
the
now,
Big Ten. Illinois looked great last night. And if Illinois can get their shot selection better, they shot 33 shots from beyond the line, behind the arc. That's 33 threes on only 60 shots in the
and I
game.
will admit,
Uh,
I don't know how. I'm assuming you were watching that game. Sorry to interrupt real quick. Something I want to add in. That guy who had the ball right under the rim to dunk it to make it what 64, 68 or something like that. Man, you can just tell how different the game is nowadays versus past then. I mean, that guy didn't even. For those of you curious at home, basically this guy for Illinois had a wide open dunk. Doesn't even look to dunk. The second he gets the ball, is turning the pass to three. Don't get me wrong, the three was wide open, but the second he missed it, that was damn near game. So it's just. I just wanted to point that out because it's crazy, just like simple stuff like that. Like you said, when you said shot selection, that was the first thing that came in my head. It's like, oh, they had a dunk to
that's a
cut it, press the defense and everything. Instead, they shoot the three, they miss it, and I mean, gamble. It's gambling part of it.
Yeah, it's the ugly part of the game that we live in 2023. Threes galore. Let them fly and let them high. I mean, if they hit two or three more threes in that game, we're looking at them as the amazing team that beats Marquette at home. And
Yeah,
it's
we
just
aren't.
when you're over 50% of your shots are from three, and I forget the number. I forget what they shot, but definitely
That's living or dying by the 3 point line. If you're shooting over 50% from there, and yeah, it's like I mean, we see it in we saw it with the tournament with Penn State pretty much last year. For those of you who followed along, I mean, Penn State really hot shooting team, got them through the conference play. They finally went a little cold, burned them. Tournament play finally went a little cold, burned them. I mean, it's just as much as awesome as it is to gain that extra point. There sometimes it can cost you, man, because you got to put. That's a far shot when you shoot it. 15, that 15, 16, 17 3 sometimes. The boys been running for a
yeah.
bit. And the college kids are worried about exams. They ain't stretching all the time. They ain't buddies drank a
Yeah,
Mountain Dew before the game. I mean, like it's wild when you put in all
Yeah,
those.
even before that last sequence, they just had some spells where they were cold, hitting, trying to
Yeah,
shoot threes on breaks. They only shot 33% from behind the arc. I mean, if they shoot 38%, they win this game. So who am I? Yeah, I don't like the selection of all the threes though. Get to the basket. You got big men. You got some talented height and length. Get to the basket. The other spot where they lost the game last night against Marquette is turnovers. 15 turnovers. Marquette only has 8 turnovers. If the team doubles you up on turnovers, that's about 8 points in fast break right there. Tyler Kolek had a hell of a game. Every time Illinois got anything rolling, the left-handed bandit would shut things down. But Illinois definitely looks strong, looks deep. Iowa looks like they're going to be same as usual. 100 points. If you can score with us, you might win. If not, we're going to run away with it. So I definitely like the Big Ten at the fourth spot in the conferences. And then for the fifth conference, as much as I do like some of these smaller conferences, they just can't compete with the big name conferences. It had to be the Pac-12, the mighty conference of champions. USC, even though they lost last night, they were missing three of their key starters last night. Boogie Ellis, some other cat, and of course Bronny James. USC is going to be a team, tough team to play. The mighty Bruins of UCLA. Mick Cronin is always ready to play. They're honestly my preseason, like in July, I put a ticket in on UCLA to win the championship without any knowledge of what the hell was going on. Just a blind bet on a hunch that Mick Cronin is going to get it done. But Pac-12, Arizona might be the best team in the country. I
Oh,
wouldn't argue with anybody that had Arizona number one on their rankings. Kansas did just beat Kentucky, so they kind of solidified the number one spot. But Arizona beating Duke in Cameron is kind of more impressive than what Kansas did last night on a neutral ground against Kentucky.
well, hey, I mean that I was gonna ask a question, but you let it in so perfectly. Give us your top 10 real quick. I have a question after, so you don't have to give like we. I feel like we've talked enough, and I feel like you've spent a lot on all these teams. You don't have to go into detail on these teams. Cause I have a question for you at the end. But what are your top 10 teams right now in the country that we should be watching for, basically? Like, not watching for, obviously. Who are
Yeah,
your top 10 teams of the country right now that are showing themselves to be the best in college football or basketball? Ah,
yeah, you got the AP poll, you got the coaches poll. I do my own poll. Not that mine's any better than anybody's or any specialer. What mine's is though is I do mine based on against the spread ATS
mm-hmm.
records. I don't care if you're 6-0. If you're like Syracuse and you're 3-0 and 0-3 ATS, it's kind of gonna hurt you in my rankings. I look at teams that I think
Love
are
it.
gonna go far into March. My top 10, I want it to be all eight elite eight teams in there come March. So I kind of look at that stuff first. Kansas, my number one team in the country. Until they prove otherwise, I'm gonna sit them right there. There are teams like Arizona and even Creighton that I could put at number one and feel good about. But Kansas, why move them when they're definitely one of the best teams in the country? So Kansas at number one. Arizona, I put them at number two this week after the win against Duke. A couple of blowout wins here and there, but that win against Duke, I mean, wire to wire, Duke, it was close. I'm not gonna say they didn't
Yeah.
have a chance, but you just never felt like Duke was in control. Arizona, man, scary team. I'm looking forward to them playing next week. They got a tough game. I forget
Woo!
who it's against, but next week is some good games. It's going to heat up again. Creighton out of the Big East. Let me get them at number three. I love Purdue. I moved them to number four. I got Creighton at three just because one through five. I think Creighton's a little better. Purdue's guards, some sophomore guards, are stepping up this season, and I'm looking forward to seeing Braden Smith and his development. I think
Yes.
Zach Edey has a chip on his shoulder and is playing to win. So I love Purdue more than I did last year, but I think Creighton just has some chemistry and some zip to the ball when the ball's moving. And Creighton, I think honestly, they play. If they didn't play in the Big East, I would say if you put Creighton in the Big 12, I'd say they might go undefeated this year.
I was about to ask,
That's
if you put real quick, if what conference would you have to put Creighton in for them to have a down step, basically, or down step? So like, what out of all the conferences, like if so, you just said like put them in the Big 12, they would run it. Is there any conference you would put them in that they wouldn't be up there in contention with? Or
and I wouldn't. There's not a
so in like Big Ten,
it,
where do you? I'll ask you. I'll put it. This is probably a better way to ask it. Big Ten, where would they finish at the Big Ten in your prediction right now? Like what rank? Like one, two, three? Where?
yeah, Big Ten. They're first and second. It's just going to come down to the game against Purdue.
Pac-12.
Uh, they're going to be first and second in any conference.
Every conference. Okay, that's what I was curious. That's all I was gonna ask. Was like I just was trying to like scale it so people can understand like comparing conference to conference.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Big East hurts them because the Big East is so good. Not hurts them, but like it's gonna hurt their record. They're gonna end up 24-8 instead of 30-2,
Yeah.
which I think they'd be 30-2 in Pac-12. Big think they'd be like 29-4 in the Big 12.
I just thought
Um,
about them in the WCC real quick.
oh yeah, it'd be disgusting.
Gonzaga,
32-1.
it'd be
Yeah,
Gonzaga and St. Mary. It'd be like that game every year where it's like, are they finally gonna get? Oh, they didn't get them again. All right,
yeah, yeah,
all right, they won it again. Congratulations.
yeah. No, Creighton, phew, they're rolling this season, man. The chemistry is remarkable. Definitely the top three team right now in the nation. I mean, they proved it last night against Iowa. They're definitely going to be a team I'm gonna be betting heavy on this season. Purdue, they're number four. Like I said, I love the development of the sophomore guards. They're helping Edie out this season more than last season.
Hey,
Last season it
and
was
they
like
got
give it to
another.
Edie
I
and
was just,
spot up.
I was just
Go
saying they got
ahead.
another 7 footer to commit too. So that the Matt
Yeah,
Painter streak, it's insane. It's just like he has to find. It's like I have to have a 7-3 guy. It's like a weird. It's almost like a weird what is the word? It's almost like erotic. I want to say like he has like gets a little
yeah,
fetish. Fetish. That was the word. He gets a little fetish when he's like, oh man, them 7 foot guys. I feel a special type of way when I'm standing under him. I don't know what it is, but
yeah.
shout out. I just want to say that it's because I think this is like ever since since at least I've been a fan and following for sure since like 2012. I feel like they've had a 7 footer on there. It's absolutely insane. Isaac Haas, the guy who ended up going to BYU, Harms. They got Zach Edey. They got some 7-3 guy from Russia. I mean, it is just wild.
Nah, Mike Painter, he definitely is old school basketball, man. He likes running the
Hey,
ball through the block. And I definitely think he tells his scouts, like, hey, don't bring me back the most talented big man.
bring
Bring
me
me
a.
the biggest motherfucker you can find.
He might like I bet if that boy could have, he'd be like, "Hey, the Judas Ilgauskas, bring that boy in." Like I
Yeah.
was that's, growing up 2K. That's one of my favorite guys. I love the big. Like I mean, that's why I find it so funny. That's how I was. It's like when I was building a team like that, saying a video game, so it's like, "Hey, give me a big old guy down low that's gonna rebound." It's like, "Hey, if we aren't going fast, feed the guy." And I mean, Zach Edey's just probably I think like the culmination of all the Purdue big men, except for the fact that man, imagine if Zach Edey had a jumper, it'd be over.
Yeah. Nah, it'd be Yao Ming in his prime, honestly. I don't know if you remember watching Yao Ming, but
I got
man,
tail
that
into
boy
it,
was
but
special.
I
That
didn't
boy
get in
was
the
special,
prime.
man. From 5 feet to 18 feet, Yao Ming was a walking bucket for sure.
Walking
Uh,
bucket.
After Purdue at number five, I got Marquette. Big East, man. Just these teams. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, man. The Big East is special this year. They're always tough, but this year I think they truly are special. We saw UConn win it last year. I was about to say, don't be surprised if a Big East team wins the championship. We just saw UConn do it. Creighton, Marquette, I think they're actually better than UConn this year. I do have UConn at my top 10 still at number six, though, behind Marquette. So you got the three-headed Big East monster in the top
Ah,
six,
shout
Creighton,
out Big
Marquette,
East.
and UConn. Yeah, man, whew,
That's why
they
they
stepped their coaching up, and now it's just ridiculous. Like every school has a quality
yeah,
coach, and they've
it's
all been
insane.
there long enough to build their program how they want to. Definitely, yeah, it's
Like I'm just sitting here thinking about it. Like in my head, I'm thinking, oh, they got Shaka at Marquette. They got Ed Cooley at Georgetown now. So now Georgetown's competitive all of a sudden. That young coach
plus
you
ten
said
and
at
a half
Providence.
tonight.
Hey, I was on that all. Hey, all of that was one thing you didn't give out today on your show. I was sitting there. It's like 10.5 against Rutgers, and I just took it pretty much. And I'm just like, hey, we'll hope. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll take ten
Nah,
and a half
listen,
from the coach.
I liked them at 8.5, but once I saw that 10.5, I had to go ahead and jump on it. Definitely.
All up on
Yeah,
it.
man. You got Patino, Sean Miller, McDermott,
Yeah, I know.
Shaka Smart,
Man, I
Ed Cooley.
ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. That is, and you want to talk about being prepped for the tourney. I mean, that's why UConn looked so good as they did during the tourney run. It's like they go through a gauntlet of a conference schedule, deal with the tourney, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we've been playing the tourney since like January.
We ain't got to see Creighton no more, man. Thank God.
Hey,
Marquette already got eliminated.
it's literally like the
Woo-wee.
joke. It's like we're playing Wisconsin now. Thank God, we're gonna bust their
Yeah.
ass by 40.
Hell yeah.
But so
That's
wait,
what they did.
real quick before we're going through, you got Kansas, Arizona, Creighton, Purdue, and then I didn't write down the other two. It was
Marquette at 5,
Marquette, yep,
UConn
Marquette.
at 6.
Okay, yep. So Marquette, UConn. I think that's where I cut you off at before we got sidetracked with Big East coach talk.
Yeah, this is where my top 10 gets crazy. And mind you, I did this before the game yesterday. I still think Kentucky's a powerhouse, though. But Kentucky at number 7, they might get moved down a little bit after this game. I usually look at deep dive Sunday, Monday
As the NCAA
after
football
rankings.
committee say, that's a good loss. That's a great loss.
No, yeah, especially the fashion they lost. Honestly, sheesh, man, I felt bad for them because you saw the moment when they let the game up. Dewan Harris hits those two threes back to back and gives Kansas their first lead since like 3-2, and you just said, "Damn, Kansas knows what to do with a lead, man." You give them a lead with a couple minutes left. Harris, Chris Paul, like point guard as far as just
Ooh.
controlling the game, not skill wise or anything. I mean, he can shoot probably. I mean, he dropped 24 and 7 yesterday, so I'm not saying he's not as skilled as Chris Paul. I'm just not comparing him skill wise. Just a point guard that can control the game, and then Hunter Dickinson just icing the game, grabbing boards late, hit about 6 free throws the last minute to pad his stats a little bit. But Kentucky, I mean, 48-41 at the half. They played with Kansas, the number one team in the country, and you could say they should have won that game. Just kind of went cold down the stretch, and Dewan Harris just hit two ridiculous threes. But Kentucky definitely at number 7, and then at number 8, I cannot wait for this team in Kansas to play in the regular season. Texas, man, I think they're dangerous at stealing the Big 12 title from Kansas. I got a ticket on them at 7-1
Hey,
for
cut
the
you off
Big
too real
12.
quick. Sorry to interrupt. Cut you off for two real quick. Shout out Texas, man. They just got the number one point guard to commit this morning. I saw that. So that is huge ad. Huge ad.
Now, Texas is one of the rare stories where it just works.
What's their coach's
All
name,
the
by the way? The new one now
uh,
that replaced Beard. I forget who it
I want to
is.
say Ron Perry,
I
but
want
I
to
don't think
shout him
that's
out.
right.
I just want to shout him out real quick before I let you go. Keep going ahead, talk about Texas, just because he did an amazing job with Texas last year. So I just want to shout him out because I thought he did a really good job. And then the fact that he's now this year, 2024, the number one recruiting, like the number one point guard in the whole 2024 class, is now coming to Texas. That's a big move because usually I feel like those days, what he'd be either at Kansas, Kentucky, UConn, name it. So Texas getting their name in the hat, that's huge, especially basketball wise.
Now hook 'em horns, baby. Yeah, Rodney Terry. He definitely
Rodney, what did you say? Did you say like Rodney Perry or what? Did you say
yeah,
Rodney? You did.
Rod.
Okay, I can
I
remember
said
the name
Rod
you said.
Perry. Yeah,
Hey, that's pretty close.
yeah.
I like it. That was a lot
Nah,
closer.
I was shouting him out all last season because I was hoping he got the job. He proved that he deserved it. Chris Beard, no slander on him, but once he leaves, you kind of just think, oh, this season's in the can.
Yeah,
Rodney Terry steps in and leads Texas on maybe even a better season than Chris Beard's ever had. Definitely deserving of this. I definitely think in this season he's going to just ball out. Texas, man, I don't know why. I feel like they're gonna win this Big 12. I think they're gonna just steal one from Kansas, like late February. I haven't looked at the schedule. I don't even know when they play, but I just can't wait for Texas and Kansas to face off. And this is why I hate the conference alignment more than the conference alignment itself. I miss
yeah,
just home and home, man. Let me see Texas, Kansas in Kansas. Let me see Texas, Kansas in Texas. Like, let me see that. I don't want to get this 20 game schedule when we're no longer playing twice a year.
yeah. That's gonna be
Um,
weird.
Yeah, the Big Ten is trying to figure out how they're gonna do it, but I feel like without the home and home, man,
That's what makes the division game like. By the way, Texas plus 750 to win their conference. Throw it in there. But that's what I think makes. That's what I think one of the biggest things I've been happy about with the NFL when it comes to divisions and everything is like they make sure you play those guys twice, and they make sure that second game's at the end of the year. So it's like before they like this is
yeah,
something that's brand new. Before it wasn't, and they're like okay whatever. So sometimes a second division game, say you're up 5-1 in the division, it's like oh we're gonna just sit everybody, no reason to play it. Now the NFL's done it to where they've made it pretty good to where it's like hey we kind of think we're gonna know who's gonna be in it. It's like that Texans Jaguar game before in week 17. You're like, who cares? Now it's like, oh man, that could be for the division potentially, all stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's what I like about basketball. Yeah, like you beat Texas at their home court, and now it's like, damn, if they come home to us now, like this could be the conference. If you're Kansas, like
yeah,
that's what's crazy. That's what makes it awesome. And now instead they're trying to take it away. It's like, yeah, now I'm going to play UCLA at home, and at the end of the season, UCLA might have a chance to win the championship, but we're playing Wisconsin now instead of UCLA, and now we don't got a chance to compete. I agree with you. That's gonna be one part that's really gonna suck.
Yeah, I mean, you said it perfectly. And just to add to it, if you do lose on the road, it's like, don't worry, we're gonna see you at my house next week,
Yeah,
2 weeks.
come to
We,
my
you got to come
crib.
to us in 3 weeks. Like, just
You know the
like,
Addy.
yeah, that rivalry, man, it's definitely gonna be missing without the home and homes. But hey, man, heartbreaking stuff. Like I said, I'm gonna be a hockey fan after the season, so it don't really matter. But after Texas at number 8, I got two teams that are probably surprised the world. I think both of these teams are better than people think. I think they're going to go under the radar all season because they were overhyped the last few seasons and didn't deliver. But give me Memphis at number 9. Their defense. This is a team that's going to be barring anything crazy happening. It is madness, by the way. But Memphis will be in the Elite Eight, Final Four uh, tier of teams come
Ooh.
February and March. Memphis is definitely disgusting this season. Penny Hardaway's best team yet, and nobody's talking about it, which I like. Because the last few seasons, all you heard was Memphis should win a championship under Penny Hardaway, and now finally they're kind of going away from it. Like, maybe they're just Memphis, but I think Memphis is dangerous. I got them at number 9 in my rankings, and at number 10, baby, uh, USC, the Trojans. Boogie Ellis at point guard, Bronny James on the wing. This team can be dangerous. Right now, I got them at number 10. They did lose last night, missing 3 of their starters. Don't know how much that'll hurt them. Probably will definitely take them out of my top 10 next week, but they'll probably return some point in the season. I can see them going on a nasty 12-game win streak to start the Pac-12 season off right. Definitely think them, UCLA, and Arizona is going to just be one of those guys standing with the Pac-12 title.
Well, you kind of stole a question from me by answering it partially, but now I'll ask you two teams. First one you're taking off is USC, obviously. So I was about to ask you, who are two teams you don't think will be in the top 10 next week? And obviously, you just kind of explained yourself for USC. Who's another team that you see out of your top 10 right here that you think potentially might drop out, or might drop at least some if you don't see them dropping out? Like, who do you think will have the
Yeah.
biggest drop of those 10 teams you just named, besides USC, obviously?
Well, I mean, there's potential for a lot to happen. UConn plays Indiana this weekend. That's going to be a good game to keep eyes on as far as rankings wise. UConn, Indiana's tough, man. Indiana's 2-0. Indiana has some young talent. UConn is still trying to figure out who they are. I definitely could see something happening there. Potentially. Kentucky, maybe if they lose another game this week, can drop out of it completely. Creighton has a pretty easy schedule the rest of this week. I don't know. Duke might get back in there after beating Michigan State and still in a spot from. They'll probably still USC spot. Kentucky has a pretty even schedule rest of this week. It's still early, man. Things are kind of moving around.
Yeah.
It's usually like the second week of December where it really gets honed in. But
Hmm.
I have my eye on some of these key games. You got Texas tonight taking on Rice. They should win that by 30. If they only win by 10, maybe I'll look at that as something. But
Oh
as of
yeah.
right now, definitely USC is probably going to still lose their spot to Duke, and Kentucky might drop down 1 or 2 spots depending on what happens with Texas. Uh, but next Monday, you got Purdue taking on Gonzaga. Who knows? Maybe Gonzaga gets in, Purdue drops. That's one of the games I'll be looking at heavy as far as rankings go for next week. UCLA taking on Marquette also is a scary one next Monday in the Maui Invitational. That's going to be a great tournament, man. The Maui. Then you also get Tennessee and Syracuse. So uh, definitely over this next week, there will be some games that'll rearrange this top 10. For me to try to predict it would basically I should be telling you some bets to take at that point. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, some big time games. Any one of these teams could lose and fall out by here or there. And definitely Duke's going to steal USC's spot. Memphis, we'll see what happens with them. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but
Man. You a
yeah,
mind
it's
reader,
exciting.
man. You a mind reader. I was just about to ask you one thing to end off. Who do you think might be some teams that we could see entering? And sure enough, you just named Memphis one, Duke one. Man, man. This is why you're the college basketball guy and I'm not. You already know where I'm about to go, where I'm not gonna go. But hey, two basically I have two more things to end it real quick. And yeah, basically every week, for those of you curious, every week's gonna be something similar like this. Like I'll go over basically what something that happened in the week of. I'll probably not ask like top five conferences every single week and not be like, but there's simple stuff like the top 10. I'll probably check in top 10 every week, see what's changing, see what we got going on. This is something that for sure is going to be a staple of every single week. I can't wait for the people back home. Got something working behind the scenes. We might have some sound effects. Might have some cool stuff on the screen upcoming here soon. And by soon, I mean probably next 2 to 3 months. So don't expect it like next week. But
Not, not expected soon, but coming soon.
hey, I'm gonna put it out there in the world because then I'm actually gonna start working on it a little bit more. Because hey, we're close. It's just there's some stuff to play with. Because yeah, eventually I want to do like for you, I'm gonna play like maybe a sound that's like Rowan Donaghy's awards for the basketball season, something cool like that. But we'll figure it out obviously because I don't got all that. I got some stuff, but I don't got that. I tell you what. So yeah, basically,
When you get your little NPC.
pretty much yeah, pretty much what I'm gonna do. You get like a soundboard, get some stuff for it. Hey, well, we got it working. But yeah, hey, I tell you what, the one I want to use the most is the Star Wars Death Star sound. The ooh, ooh. That we're gonna get good use out of that. But hey, we're talking college basketball, not my damn soundboard. Uh, yeah. So awards, real quick. It's gonna be two simple awards. Market. I'm gonna ask you, as of today, who's gonna win the national championship, and I'm gonna ask you, as of today, who's gonna win the Wooden Award. But before we get into the Wooden Award, real quick, Zach Edey to win the 2023-2024 Wooden Award, minus 320 no, plus 230 yes. What side would you lean on there before I ask who your picks are in the Wooden Award? If you had to go right now,
No,
you would go
no.
no. Okay. We're gonna see if that market stays up all year. I'm gonna ask you about it because yeah, minus 320 is a lot of juice. But if you feel really good about it, I mean, there's a few guys I think you like. So yeah, who obviously if you don't think it's gonna be Edie, I know two of your guys for sure. I don't know if you got a third name or a fourth name to give out, but it kind of sucks. One of the guys you're going to give out just kind of went off last night, so it's odds are going to be a little poopy.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Who are your two favorites for this year? It doesn't even have to be like odds wise, market wise, like betting wise. Who are like personally? Who do you like to win this year? And you've already kind of stated it on your show for those of you who are tuning in from this show.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's literally you got Zach Edey, of course. He's the first name you list here. He's the first name you talk about. He's the first name you think about. Definitely think Purdue. Uh, I think they're going to be good this year. Zach Edey, I don't know. He won it last year. Last time somebody's won it twice, you got to go all the way back to Ralph Sampson for Virginia in the early 70s, maybe early 80s. I
It's been
wasn't
that
born yet.
long.
Yeah, they don't give this award out. They like to give it to new cats. They
Well,
like to
also I
give it
guess
to
too, a
like,
lot of people don't go back to back anymore, like in college, and usually the people win and move on. So I guess it's a fair point too. That's crazy. 77. Ralph Sampson. Shout out the
yeah,
Rockets.
yeah. Shout out to Rockets. Also, so yeah, they don't like to give the award out to the same person twice. Zach Edey's trying to break that, but he has that going against him. It's also narrative. It's a lot more narrative than people think the Wooden Award is. Kansas, they just got Hunter Dickinson. You now got the best big man on the best team. What can he do? Last night in the brightest of lights in the
Apparently get
championship.
21 rebounds and about drop 30.
So
God
yeah,
damn.
Hunter Dickinson's my favorite. He has the narrative story around him, and if he keeps putting up 27 and 21, I think he's going to get it. I mean, I said before the season with Kansas, Bill Self ain't a fool. Jawan Howard, now that's a fool. Bill Self is going to give the ball to his big man and tell him to go to work. I expect to see Hunter Dickinson having 25 and 18 on a regular. Last night is no fluke. I think it's going to be dangerous with Hunter Dickinson on the block. Donovan Clingan for UConn. He's my second favorite to win this. I think he's the most fundamentally sound big man we've seen. Uh, this is going to sound crazy. He has the ceiling of being as dominant as Shaq was at LSU. I don't know if he
Wow.
can dunk on people like that, but as far as just straight up, I mean, this guy is Drew Timmy game like with Shaq size. It's
That's crazy.
almost
I was just thinking
it's
about 32 in my head. I'm like, man, that's a white Shaq. When you said the
yeah.
footwork and everything. And sure enough, you said he has a potential Shaq. That's crazy. Crazy how it
I
works,
think
huh?
yeah, yeah, I think he could be as dominant as Shaq. He came into the season with a hurt foot. UConn's schedule's been light as heck. They've been winning 100 to 50 every game. He's been playing 15 to 20 minutes, still putting up 12 to 15 points, 8 to 10 rebounds in those limited minutes. I think once they let this guy off the leash and he starts playing 30 minutes, we'll be seeing him put up these Hunter Dickinson like numbers of 27 and 21 rebounds. And I think Donovan Clingan will skyrocket to the top of this board once that happens. Cal Filipowski, like him, love him. Hate him. The next great Duke player to hate. We had Christian Laettner. We had J.J. Redick. Now we got the Dirty Bird special and Kyle Filipowski throwing bowls. Dirty. Get him out of here, ref. Hate
Wait, so
this
what did he
guy.
do? Why? I
Great
saw a lot
talent.
of people calling him dirty. I didn't see what he did. What did he do?
According from my perspective, he was fully aware that Tyson Walker was under him. And for some reason, he went to grab a rebound like that and just
Uh,
straight up elbowed the blank out of Tyson Walker's back of his head.
oh,
Just felt dirty to me.
yeah,
Of course, I'm
you
a
aren't
Michigan
alone.
State boy,
I say
but
you are not alone. Twitter
yeah,
was popping. I heard some people like, good to know Grayson Allen vibes still live on in Duke. A lot
talk
of
about
those
Grayson Allen,
tweets.
baby.
A lot of those tweets. A lot of those tweets.
I showed my age. I went back to Laettner and JJ Redick. I forgot about the Grayson Allen hate. Honestly, I love it though. I love hating Duke, and I love hating a player on Duke. So shout out Kyle Filipowski, getting down and dirty, doing what you got to do to get the win. I don't think he has a chance to win this. He's the third favorite. Just had to mention him. I think if it doesn't go to Dickinson or Clingan, you could definitely look at Armando Bacot, who's
Hey, my boy. Love that
sleepily
guy.
been putting up 20 and 20 this season already. Double double machine, already two double doubles. He's 17-1 right now. He was plus 2,000 before the season. Definitely think if North Carolina, let's say they mid February, they beat Duke and they're at top of the ACC, Armando Bacot's going to be getting screamed at by the media for this award. So it's really all comes down to team success. Hunter Dickinson in Kansas, if Kansas is good, Dickinson's good, he's going to get it. If Klingon's good, UConn's good, he's going to get it. Whoever has the best team, and I know it sounds crazy, the best stats, as simple as that sounds, I think those are the three guys you got to look at, though Dickinson, Klingon, and Baycott. It always goes to a big man. So guys like Tyson Walker and Tyler Kolek, who are both plus 4,000, as much as I love them, I don't think they're going to even get a stick into this fight.
Man. I was about to say, shout out Baycott, man. Duke kind of had, or not Duke, sorry, North Carolina kind of had a weird and awkward year last year, so he's kind of all forgotten about. If you guys remember, I think what was it, the first two tournament games, 2020, 2020, rebounds points, the year before last. I mean, he was going off. UNC kind of had a bad year last year, so I feel like a lot of people forgotten about him. I didn't forget, baby. Double double and UNC to win. I gave it out on your show last year, and UNC had one of the worst seasons they've had in a while, and I felt embarrassed. I'm like, damn, I had the double double part right at least, but yeah, shout out that boy Baycott. Yeah, I mean, basically, I appreciate you for coming on, man. You've been giving us a lot of
Real
insight.
quick, my bad.
I'm not ending it, by the
Wooden
way.
Award.
Go ahead.
Long shot for a Wooden Award. I'm so sorry. If you want to go long on the numbers, there's a kid named Ryan Kalbrenner for Creighton.
Kalkbrenner, that boy. I think it's Kalk. Is it Kalkbrenner? I could be wrong too.
And there's another K in there. I think I skipped it.
Oh well.
Uh,
I was just trying to think if I was thinking the right guy. I'm like, yeah, that tall white guy that shoots for Creighton.
yeah,
That boy
plus
Kalkbrenner.
6,000 for him. Uh, hey, if Creighton goes 30-2, this guy's name will be plus 300 come February. That don't mean you win. That just means you made a decent bet, I guess. Ryan Kalkbrenner plus 12, plus 6,000. He got the same odds as Aiden Mahaney, who's a superstar for St. Mary's, who has no chance of winning it. Just to kind of put you in perspective, same odds as somebody who has no chance to win it. But I think Creighton's success can put him in there and win it. Even Aiden Mahaney, if you want to go with the guard, he's not a bad guy at plus 6,000. If St. Mary's does win the WCC, like everybody's projecting them to take down Gonzaga. But something that I forgot to talk about, Gonzaga basketball, still good. They're still good, man.
Still good?
Still good. Got a big man, 7 foot freshman, red shirt,
Woo!
dropping 20 a game so far.
Shout
They're
out.
still good.
I was about to say real quick for the Wooden Award. Can we give out our boy Tominaga?
I can find them.
I can't even. I haven't even. I was trying to look at his name real quick just to give him out as a shout out. Because man, you want to talk about a fun guy to watch.
He's
Tominaga
what
from
college basketball is all about.
yeah, like though as much it's hilarious. He is the opposite of what so Kolek he brings drip by just showing up. He doesn't wear a headband. He doesn't wear any high. He wears medium high socks, sneakers, drawers. As you said, the drawers. I tried to add a little southern accent to it. Short shirt, and he's ready to ball out. Tomanaka, all he does, He's basically the same way. He shows up with the shoes. No, he doesn't need an arm sleeve. All he needs is that damn headband and that 30. He looks like Steph Curry for Nebraska. I haven't found him on the list. I don't think there's a single shot that he wins it. I just want to shout him out because he's probably one of the few. He's one of the first players I think that we fell in love with as a tandem. That was just like, man, this.
Yeah,
I think he tore us up on one bet. We're just sitting there. It's like, man, this guy's Steph Curry. This guy's Steph Curry. And sure enough, we
nah,
fell in love from that day.
bro, it was cooking us, bro. I think he dropped like 30 a game for 6 games last year, like some little stretch, and just it was just cooking. Nebraska ended up ending the season 5-1. I mean, he
Man,
gave them hope, bro. He gave the whole fan base of Nebraska hope.
you know it's crazy because like I know like I'm not trying. This is not trying me trying to be mean or anything, but you know there's a lot of people on that campus who had no idea he was even on the basketball team, and then after like you said they went on a stretch, and all of a sudden there was Tominaga fever. Shout out our boy Case. Is there Kaisei or Keisei Tominaga? But it
Bro,
looks like he's been struggling a little bit in his return. Ooh, he went 3 for
he's
13
been
first
hurting.
game. He'll be
Yeah,
back. We'll
he's
be
been
good.
hurting.
Hey, he's a March player. He's a March player. He's a March player.
Hey, straight up, I guarantee you, it was a conversation he had with somebody, and he was trying to prove to them he was on the basketball team. And they're
Oh,
like,
no doubt.
sir, yeah, this is for the players only, sir. Hey, no, I ain't gonna do the accent. I play for the team. They're like,
Just because
all
you got a
right.
headband on, you don't play for the team. Get out of here. And then, hey, that boy went on.
Everybody want to be Steph Curry, and he's just sitting there like, I am Steph Curry.
Yeah, sir. Hey, for real though, shout out him. He went second. He might be. It's either him or Andrew Funk. I don't know who was my favorite player from last year, but Andrew Funk had an awesome name. He was some white boy who just balled out. So I also love him. But man, I want to say thank you for coming on. By the way, before I let you go though, I I just can't get Tom. That guy is insane. Shout out Tominaga one more time, man. Got to throw him out there. That boy is. I'm very excited to watch him this season. He's the
I'm about
best
to
part
buy
too.
his jersey just cause.
And for those of you wondering, I'm not going to assume race. He could be. I just know he's from. We'll just say if you're in America, he's from eastern part of the world. We'll just say that. Just because I don't want to assume and just be that guy because I actually do. I'll just say Chinese, American, Japanese. One of those. One of those. It could be Vietnamese. It could be any one of
Korean,
those. Korean. It could be
Filipino.
any one of those. I just have to establish it out there because, God damn it, do I like this little 6'1" headband wearing, silk string playing. He's a baller. I just have to shout him out one more time, like we said. Shout out to Tominaka. Yeah, to end it though, big games. What are some games you're looking for next week? I know I know you just talked about one UConn Indiana. There was another one you mentioned. I think like Purdue Gonzaga, but that might be later in the season. What are like I guess like 3 to 5 games? What are just some games you're looking at that before? Assuming I have you on by like next Wednesday, what are some big games that might have some implications down the line that you've been seeing?
Oh man, exit out of the tab. I, I, I thought we was going to the national championship question.
Oh man, yeah.
Um,
We can save that for. We'll save that at the very end. I'll throw that in at the very end for your national champion. We'll make that the very end of every episode. You will pick your national champion so people can hold your feet to the fire when they skip to the end just
sounds
to place
good.
their national championship bet. They're gonna listen to the rest of
Yeah,
this and be like, "What's this guy got for the national championship?" Let's see.
I love that. I love that. Now there is some big games next week, man. I did want to talk about that too before we left. I was gonna do a quick segment. I got some good numbers for you on some tournament prices that I really like. Some
Oh yeah,
tournaments going on
we'll
next
save
week as
it.
far as the
Oh,
Maui Invitational
okay.
and
Let's save that for. Actually, you know what? Never mind. Go for if you got a price with the game that you're talking about. Go for it. Just let it loose.
oh yeah, I can get to that screen in a second. But pretty much the Maui Invitational, that's going to be some huge games next week, starting next Monday. Uh, love those games. You got Florida State also taking on UNLV on Monday. Virginia taking on Wisconsin. That'll be a good test for Virginia. They've had a light schedule so far. I think we'll really see who they are against Wisconsin. Um, Kentucky's taking on a tough 3-0 St. Joseph team. They'll probably be favored by 17 to 20, and I don't know if they'll cover that one, but it'll definitely be
Oh, hey, hold on. Your audio just completely cut out.
for real.
Now
Is
you're good.
that
You're good. Yeah, it just for a quick second. It was like a quick little like flip like that where you just I basically didn't catch like the last like 5 seconds of what you said. We caught everything else. There's just like a quick little 5 seconds where it's like restarting basically. You're all good now though, so you can continue. We didn't miss I won't lie. I was trying to make sure I had everything under control while I was looking around, so I forget who you said, but whatever the last team you just said was we basically got majority of that. So
Awesome. Yeah, it's just a bunch of tournaments next week. So it'll be some matchups. I don't even know that's happening. You got, like I said, the Maui Invitational. You got
yep.
the Ball Dogs Classic, the Cancun Challenge, Fresno State, New Mexico State. It's going to be some great games. That's another thing I like about early in the season. I don't really touch on them. There's a lot of small schools. You look at Middle Tennessee. You look at Monmouth. You look at some of these teams. They're playing good to start the season off early. We'll definitely start to see more of them, which I'm looking forward to. But over this next week, man, it's all about the tournaments. And just to throw some tournaments out there, if you want to look at some Maui Invitational tournament winners, uh, Marquette at 500 and Gonzaga at plus 950. I like it, and I like it a lot. Kansas is the favorite at plus 170, and then Tennessee at plus 320. Honestly, you can pick any one of these six teams, and there's not a bad bet here. All the way down to UCLA at plus 2,000. I might put something on UCLA plus 2,000 just for fun. Purdue plus 340. But I like Marquette and Gonzaga. That's the window. I really think one of those two teams has a window to win it. Somebody will knock out somebody. They'll be able to knock out somebody. Won't have to do all the work themselves. The ESPN Invitational winner. Now this one I really do like. Florida Atlantic to win this complete tournament, put
Oh,
their name on the map. They're only plus 250. It's not as long of a shot as I would like, but definitely like Florida Atlantic plus 250 a lot in that invitational, ESPN invitational. And the battle for Atlantis, I talked about this team earlier. Memphis is my favorite to win this. Memphis at
Memphis
plus
man.
550 and Michigan, who were plus 1,200 2 days ago when I took it. They're now plus 650, which sucks. But definitely like Michigan and Memphis to be spoilers. The top of this tournament, it's heavy, but it's not hard. We've seen North Carolina lose. We've seen Arkansas lose. We've seen Villanova struggle to score. I think somebody like Memphis and or Michigan can come in there at 5-1, 6-1, and walk away with the win in the battle for Atlantis. And I don't have nothing for the last one. I thought I did, but I mean, San Diego State plus 185 if you want Continental Tire main event winner. They're the best team out of these four teams. If you want a little plus money play right there, but that's what I'm gonna have my eye
Hmm.
on. The rest of this week is gonna be light slate of games, pretty much. A
Just
few
setting up for the
games here and
tournaments.
there.
Are they basically just setting up for these big tournaments for Thanksgiving week and all that?
Yeah, it's funny because college basketball they come out hot the first 2 weeks in November, and then it's like uh, kind of boring until January. There'll be a week or two in there'll be a week or two in December that's jumping, but yeah, they get these kids home for the holidays usually.
Well,
Um,
hey, I have to say, I'll tell you what. There would be a lot of people in the college football world who would agree with you that their season kind of sucks until about November, December, January. So it seems like college has a theme right there.
yeah, yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Last game I'm gonna throw out there 3 o'clock on Peacock on Saturday. Your boy number 30 for Nebraska, taking on Oregon State. That'll be a fun one to watch. Not a lot of implications on it, but it'll definitely be a fun one to watch. Friday, you get Butler and Michigan State. I
Woo!
think Michigan State is going to have to win that one. But Butler's 3-0. They're not going to come in there playing. Um, so, yeah, I'm just going to have my eye on a lot of stuff, man. Georgia taking on Miami. Miami should roll. Miami's defense needs to step up. I want to see them hold Georgia to under 70, under 60. Miami needs to get their defense stepping up. You can score 90 all you want, but if you can't play D, what the hell you doing it for?
Man, I honestly couldn't say that any much better. I mean, I don't even know who's playing tomorrow in the college basketball world, if we're being real. So I truly appreciate it. Really do appreciate you having it on. You gave us so much information, so much to think about. But now, like I said, we're gonna end every show like this. Your national championship winner. It is now the time. The national championship game is tonight. Who would you pick to win it if we had everyone's playing in it, I guess, but who are you picking to win it
The
tonight?
game is tonight, but everybody's in it. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna stay on this limb, um, and this is gonna change for sure. But if I had to bet somebody right now, give me Creighton, 18-1.
Woo! Why Creighton? Real quick, why? From what you said, anything
They
different from what you said before, or what are
just
some
the
big things?
chemistry, man. The chemistry is there. The chemistry is real. These players lean on each other. the zip in the passes. They want to pass the ball. They want to see their teammates succeed. On defense, they keep that same have your back mentality, rotations on time. And no pointing fingers here. This team really just looks crisp. The thing with San Antonio Spurs in their prime, offense just moving, ball not touching the floor. Next thing you know, there's a wide open layup or three in the corner, and they're knocking it down. This team right now is the best. And like I said, they can play with anybody. We're going to see them play games 67, 65. We saw them last night literally playing a shootout against Iowa, winning 92 to 84, I believe. I think Creighton, no matter who they play against, can play with that team and their style and also switch it up to their own style. And if somebody likes to run, they can slow it down. If somebody likes to slow it down, they can run. They can do whatever they need to do to win games, and I think they're going to show that. And I think this chemistry is only going to build, of course, over the next 3, 4, 5 months. And they're going to go into the tournament as the top three seed, and they're going to do some damn damage.
Do you know if Creighton's won a Natty before?
I don't think so.
Man,
I'd be surprised if they did.
I tell you what, if they do happen to win it all, that'd be amazing. Honestly, that'd be something awesome to see. That's I think one of my favorite things about the National. Like even it felt like UConn winning. It's like man, you don't. I feel like I haven't seen UConn win it in a while, even though they won it in like 2008 or whatever. So it's awesome when you get even if you get like a repeat champion, it feels like damn, they really had to earn it and get lucky. I mean, it's that. I think that's one of the best parts about college basketball. Is like anybody truly can win it. Like in college football, let's be honest, it's going to come down to Michigan, Georgia, and Ohio State, and then maybe whoever you want, Washington, Florida State. Pick a number. It was TCU last year, and then we saw what happened. College basketball, hey, it's anytime those anytime you hear that as they're running on the floor, it's any given game, man.
Nah, definitely. Creighton, the furthest they've been in the tournament, according to Google, the Elite Eight, 1941. So I'm definitely going out on a limb here.
Hey,
That was that
that's
was
awesome.
before they even had the tournament. That's the NIT tournament they talking about.
That's
That's hilarious.
awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, so that's something I definitely can't wait to look for. I'm gonna wonder if we're gonna see Creighton on here. Hey, thanks for coming on, man. I told you to give me 20 minutes. You gave me 66 minutes.
Uh,
I couldn't ask you for anything better, man. Honestly, could not ask for you anything better at all.
I'm gonna be honest. About 10 minutes ago, I was like, I don't remember what time we started, but we've been going.
Well, I can tell you right now, the
Not in a
bottom.
bad way,
Oh yeah, no,
but yeah.
I had a lot of fun. I was sitting here the same way. I kept looking down my clock. I'm like, all right, we're on the second thing. We hit the awards. We hit the awards about 45:32, and that's when I'm like, all right, it's gonna be a show today. Let's get it. But no, honestly, I mean, I
Yeah.
truly had a lot of fun. I feel like I've truly watched a minute 35 of basketball, and there's the end of the Marquette Illinois game. But I feel like I just watched like 15 games this week without having to watch anything. So really do appreciate
Man,
it.
yeah, man, it's been some great basketball. It's probably been the best opening week of college basketball in decades, honestly. Looking forward to some more big games early December. Can't wait to see those slates and those things. I kind of go week to week, so I don't know what's going on in the near future, but all I do know is I'll say this: the last thing to say to get the hell on up out of here. UConn played Alabama last year, early December, I believe, and that was the game I knew
Yep,
UConn was winning the national championship.
I remember
And
that.
so I'm waiting to have that moment with somebody this year and just pounce on some futures. Uh, Maybe it's Arizona beating Duke. I had a small hindering of that one. Definitely love Arizona.
Hey, it's falling across. Check that boy out, man. He's going daily with the sports betting and everything. Captain by Hook on YouTube. And like you said, hey, if you check him out, you might be one of the first people to be there when he's like, oh damn, Purdue's winning it all this year. I'm just kidding. Hey, if Purdue makes it out of the first round, it's a big win this year. They need to hang a banner.
Hey,
But hey, thank you so
they're,
much again. All right, go ahead.
they're the favorite.
Yeah, that's even scary. I don't know. I don't know who's dumber, me for actually believing in the books or the books for believing in them. That's going to be the biggest story of the year. We'll be talking about this on Humpday Hoops a lot. Who's wrong, me or the books? I want to love
Hell yeah.
Purdue. I mean, you know what the worst part is before we go? If Purdue, they're going to wrap me into this Purdue team. They're going to lose about Elite Eight like they do every year against some good team. But at least, hey, they didn't lose in the first round. Matt Painter, baby.
Nah, I could definitely see. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I could definitely see. Pull my damn wire from the headphones.
I'm more
I could
ready to
definitely
go.
see. I can see Edie getting to the Sweet 16, man,
Yeah.
and at least having that on his resume. I would love that for him to get out of here with a Sweet 16. He deserves it, man. Sweetest kid I've ever seen. I'm glad he's finally turning into a damn Monster.
Yeah, he needs to be angry, play with some anger down low. But all jokes aside, seriously, Matt Painter is a really good coach. I just want to throw it out there because I've watched the same Purdue team a few times in my life. But thank you all again for watching. Thank you for all the support. A little bit of late night hoops edition. You're literally going to see me in about damn near by the time this posts. You're literally going to see me in 12 hours. I'm going to forget that we even had this conversation because that's how my mind works sometimes. And it's going to be all football, and I'm going to be narrowed in. And then about a week from now, you'll see me again with my boy talking more hoops because yeah, I can't focus on football and hoops, so that's his job to focus on the hoops and tell me what the hell I need to pay attention to and what to bet my money on. So thank you all for watching.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for the support. Check out Stare Down Sports. Follow my guy on X. He'll get into a verbal joust with you. He might even agree with you. And just if you want to get a little bit of information out there, a little bit of talking to, that's my guy over here. If you want to talk college basketball, anything basketball related, that's my guy. We might throw NBA in a little bit later in the season. We'll see. But yeah, mainly, again, just thank you again for the college basketball. I just can't get over how much you gave us. I can't wait to rewatch this back and just, yeah, take a little bit more of what I got. So if you got any parting words to say before I let it go?
Hey, I ain't biased. They just trash.
Eh,
Let's get it, man. College basketball is back, and this is what it's all about.
we ain't biased. They just trash. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see everybody on Thursday for basically my pick'em, college football bets, NFL bets, and then if you want to follow me, he'll be on his show live Thursday as well, giving out bets. Then Friday, reverse, baby. He came to my home turf. I'm going to his home turf Friday. We're going to talk a little bit of football action. And yeah, man, let's get it. Everyone have a great weekend. I will see everybody back here on my feed tomorrow for some college football and NFL action.